Hey. Okay, this is welcome to OUTTAKE ESL. This is a English corner I did for adults called The Terminal, based on experiences at an airport. Listen, I got John Denver in the background. This is the time. Country song is always a very popular song in China, and I feel like this was a great song to sort of share. Though I did not sing this one, I didn't bring the guitar out. I always kind of felt this one was a little cheesy. So this is The Terminal, and we started out with discussion. Do you like airports? Why or why not? And we moved on into the airport. We started to know what is a common procedure for boarding at a terminal. And then we go into our first handout. So I give them a handout here with some missing vocabulary. We go through it, give them a little bit of time. A little bit of time to go through it together. To get all the airport sounds. Some vocabulary. Can you name these areas and services? What is this? Taxi, bus, air, train, parking, currency, information, departures, arrivals, and internet. We go through all this vocabulary. A little bit more, kind of more, I would say the more, the higher level sort of vocabulary here. Duty free and bag checking, customs, security, lost and found. Then I did this exercise here on the duty free. I brought it up in the last slide. I want to go into what is duty free. Duty free, very popular with a lot of travelers, so I figured it was a good time to take a look at it. And then I go into this activity here called duty free. I made all this myself, photoshopped it. And what this entailed, the whole idea of this activity was that you had puzzles. I gave everybody a puzzle here, and we were trying to get all these puzzle pieces into the overhead compartment. And this is kind of, I thought it was funny because this was something I always saw, like the Chinese people just ramming stuff up there whenever I traveled in China. And I was like, that's my game. That's something everybody could, and there would always be, people would get like arguments and stuff like that. So I was like, there's my game, So I came up with all these stuff that you'd buy in the tanker in the duty-free shop. This is for adults because I'm using alcohol brands. And I would give them 2 minutes. They had to get all of their pieces into the overhead compartment, the puzzle pieces. Now, to make it a little challenging, if two pieces were touching, the last letter had to match the first letter in the other pieces. So absolute it ends with a T, so the next piece has to, a piece touching it has to have a T in the beginning. So that was a challenge. And I gave them 2 minutes to do it. And I said they could be horizontal or vertical. Nothing could go diagonal. And then I gave them the 2 minutes. Do you accept it? I said, all right, ready, go. I had a timer, 2 minutes. Boom. And I gave them all the puzzle pieces and in a little overhead compartment. I gave them 2 minutes. Teams, try to work it out. And I remember correctly, some people did got it. So a couple, figured it out, which was exceptional, I thought. And then I showed them the answer. Yeah, this was the answer. And I put one piece in there just to make it a little bit challenging that didn't fit. So that was that activity. That requires a lot of preparation. You have to get all the pieces. You have to kind of plan. All right, I'm going to have 4 teams of 6, or it requires a lot of planning. And I laminated all the pieces and everything so I could use it again. And then I talked a little bit about what is the experience, more kind of discussion. And I tied this into The Terminal. The movie had just been released, the movie The Terminal. I kind of like this movie, so I thought it was kind of fun to bring it in here. And I don't know if it's going to work. Yeah, it's going to work. Boom. So I showed him this clip from the film. Boom. So then we go into the film, show him The Terminal. Blah, 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 blah. And a quick little discussion about what they just saw. In what ways do you think the film is different from a true story? I told them it was a true story. Quick little discussion on the true story, the person it was really about. Quick little discussion, mostly advanced levels. And then I went to this activity, and you know, like that would be maybe a segment I would drop at this point, just because it's a little dated. And it's really advanced. You know, you got to really make sure. For adults, you got to really make sure. This was kind of a fun activity here. I put numbers around the room, different spots, 1 through I think 12 or something, and then I gave a handout of a time schedule here. And oh, this was a listening exercise. This was listening actually. We go through, we listen to this announcement. It was a listening exercise. I said we listened to the recording just as if we were sitting in a terminal. And then I had some questions. Who was probably making the announcement? A pilot, boarding gate. It's kind of a true-false question, as if you were listening to an announcement at a terminal. And then there was one last activity here that I want to go about. Yeah, is this it? Yeah, this is it. Yeah, here I gave out a schedule, a time schedule here, a flight schedule. And like I said, I put numbers, gate numbers around, laminated numbers around the room. And then we had 2 people, and I called them the gate crashers. This is just a basic exercise. This is just kind of this is how I introduced the time schedules, just kind of a quick vocabulary exercise. And then we got to the game, gate crashers. Object game is direct your passenger to the correct gate using the info on your flight schedule. As quick as you can. Be quick about it. Your flight is leaving. So they would have the flight schedule, as you just saw there, with numbers, flight numbers on it, departure times. They had to find that information, and they had to find out what gate it was. Then they had to yell to their team member, get to gate, blah, blah, gate, blah, blah, gate, blah, blah. Right? And we just kind of go through, and that was a lot of fun. Cathay Pacific to Seoul. Okay, this flight, find that flight on your schedule. Where is it? What gate is it leaving from? Boom, you got to run over there. So that was pretty fun. That was my terminal gate crasher there. And that's pretty much it for this presentation. No, there was actually more of this. Yeah, there was something about configurations. I cut this out of it just because I thought it was a little bit too much. Usually you have about 50 minutes of material. Depending on how fast or what the comprehensions are, it can go very slowly or very quickly. But that's a little presentation on the terminal. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can get some ideas off that. If you do, please leave a comment below. If you'd like me to send you some information or even the PPTs, let me know. Give me a means of contacting you, and I'll respond. But until then, I'll be making more of these, going through more of my presentations. I hope they help. If they do, please click like and subscribe, and I will monetize. Maybe we can get a little bit of promotion for this work if you think it is. If you think it's something that helps you. All right? Take it easy, stay cool. Catch you next time. Stay tuned for even more.